Hello, and welcome back to my series about my experience with The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, a book about unblocking your creativity in many aspects of your life. My name is Grace, and I've been creatively blocked for several years now, and I've decided to record and post my experience with the program as a way to rebuild my confidence and find my voice. This week was about recovering a sense of abundance, which turned out to involve deconstructing our attitudes about money. This one was a little bit weird for me because I'm currently unemployed and I really do need to be as frugal as possible, but I do still appreciate what the exercises in this chapter made me think about. And I don't get into the tasks every week, but I do want to talk about a few of them before I do the check-in questions because I found them valuable and interesting. So let's go! This chapter asks you to track every purchase you made over the course of the week. This must have been so different to do in 1992, and I envy anyone who got to experience it in the 90s instead of the economic hellscape that we're living in now. But I did check my bank statement at the end of the week and found that I was generally satisfied with where my money was going until I got a $50 subscription fee to an automatic renewal from a certain online service I forgot I was enrolled in. And it's in the terms of service that I can't get a refund for that. But other than that, I was both frugal and treated myself to a few new pieces of clothing, which I often resist doing because I can be very stingy about adding new things to my wardrobe. I just don't feel like I need or deserve it. I don't know. And I invested a reasonable amount into my artist date this week, which is another thing that I've been kind of stingy about. There are a couple of tasks that ask you to collect 5 pretty rocks and 5 flowers or leaves. I only found one rock that I liked, but I'll be keeping my eye out for the next few days for some more. And here are some of the flowers I picked and pressed as well. I'll probably put these in a scrapbook of some kind once they've dried a little bit more. One of the tasks was to list your favorite things in several categories. So here are a few collages I decided to make of some of my favorites. I just did this in Microsoft PowerPoint and pulled the pictures from the internet. I also added a few of my own pictures as well, which made that feel extra special. I changed the dogs category to cats and cars to bugs, because I love cats and bugs, and I feel like I'm allowed to do that. I have a lot of fun making these kinds of lists, and there's something about lining them all up together that makes them feel particularly special and visible. The act of actually collecting these favorites does something very satisfying for me, and I think it's a really nice exercise that helps me get back in touch with myself. Another task asks you to make new changes in your home environment. You might have noticed I've spruced this room up quite a bit since I started the series. I found an old scarf that matches the color palette in here really nicely. That beautiful Ruana hanging on the door adds a nice pop of orange color and teal that I really like. And I'm thinking I might have something else hung up right around here. Maybe by the next video, maybe the next one, I'll probably do some kind of painting to make it feel a little more personalized in here soon. The last task I want to share my thoughts on is one that asks, have there been any changes in your financial situation or your perspective on it? Like I said, this one is tricky for me right now because I'm unemployed and I feel like spending as little as possible is kind of a survival strategy for me right now. But before even starting this chapter, I've been reevaluating my relationship with money and retail therapy. I decided to stop shopping at Amazon back in January, and I find it's really helped me cut back on impulse purchases. And now I feel like the purchases I do make are more meaningful and personal. All right, that felt like a lot to cover, even though it didn't take that long to talk about, but let me finally jump into the check-in questions now. First is, how many days this week did you do your morning pages? Have you used them yet to think about creative luxury for yourself? How was the experience for you? So I've done my morning pages 7 out of 7 days this week. I found it pretty easy to fit them into my weekend this time with a little bit more intention around it. And about the creative luxury thing, I think I would answer yes to this question, even though I'm still kind of figuring out what creative luxury really means. Sometimes when I get stuck and I'm not sure what to write next, I'll just start listing out a bunch of beautiful things I enjoy into one run-on sentence that's just kind of like a list of random things that come to mind. For example, here's one that I wrote from Saturday morning. Cicadas, jasmine, rocks, slate, rivers, bridges, creeks, sweetgrass, clover, praying mantis, lamb's ear, chickens, leafy garden, heirloom tomatoes, pan-fried eggs, humid air, buttered toast, cat curling around my legs, lemon tree blossoming. I've also been using them to do a lot of brainstorming on a story I started writing last week. I can definitely tell the practice of morning pages has helped a lot with my general output in terms of writing. I think I mentioned this before, but I have a strong tendency to self-edit and to do a whole bunch of world building and get really wrapped up in the details when I have an idea for a story, both of which end up preventing me from doing the actual legwork of finishing a first draft. But the story I mentioned starting last week is now 5,000 words, which is like so rare for me. And if I can keep up that momentum, I think I'll have an entire first draft done within a couple months. Next check-in is, did you do your artist date this week? Have you considered allowing yourself to? And what did you do and how did it feel? So yes, I finally went on a real date with myself and let myself have the luxury of paying some money to go to a kind of paint-it-yourself pottery studio where you can pick from a lot of different pottery pieces and paint them however you like. They will fire them for you and you go pick them up in a week and get to see them come out all glazed and shiny and pretty. I picked out 2 little dishes, one lemon-shaped one and a long key dish with dividers. I painted the lemon a peachy pink color since I couldn't decide between a lemon or a peach initially, and I painted some little bugs on each section of the key dish. I think I spent around 2 hours there making sure the bugs looked just right, so I really hope it turns out cute when I go back in a week. It didn't feel incredibly adventurous, definitely more so than the other artist dates that I've done. It was an improvement from the more unstructured dates that I've been doing so far. It was probably my best artist date yet, to be honest, and it felt very refreshing, focused, and freeing in a certain way. And honestly, 2 artist dates a week doesn't sound like a bad idea. I'm just such a homebody at heart. I don't have a natural inclination to go out and do that sort of thing, especially when I'm trying to save money. But that resistance does tell me that it's something that I need to do more of. Third check-in is, did you experience any synchronicity this week and what was it? To be honest, not really, so I'm going to go ahead and skip to the next question, which is, were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery, and describe them. Not to keep harping on this, but I think the effort I put into my artist date this week went so well that it was pretty eye-opening, and it told me that I need to do that more often. I think the creative luxury aspect of it was really valuable and showed me that I can't just keep going to the library or the park with no plan and call it an artist date. I've heard it said before that your relationship with your creativity really is a relationship, and you have to put the same kind of effort in as you would like a date with another person. That you have to think of your creative muse as a romantic partner and consider what they might like to do and how you can woo them, so to speak. So next week I'm definitely going to maybe the cat cafe or the museum or something like that, and I'll be trying to put the same effort into all of my artist dates going forward. Alright, before I wrap up, I just want to say that I did randomly pick Painter from the Cup of Imaginary Lives for this week, and I ended up painting 5 days a week and finished 2 medium-sized pieces. The first one is a guided painting from my color theory course that I was pretty happy with, and the second one is from a reference photo that I took on my own, and I tried to apply all the principles I've learned from that course so far. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm probably going to hang it up in my kitchen once it's dry. Yeah, this is like, I don't know, it's one of those really nice feelings where you finally like something that you put out there after a lot of, trial and error and a lot of practice that doesn't really feel like something that you created on your own. Obviously, I couldn't have done this without the help of the instructor that I've been learning under, but it was just a really cool feeling to have made this one on my own this time. Okay, thank you for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'd be so grateful if you liked or commented on it. This marks the halfway point of the 12-week course, so I'm really excited to hit that milestone and see what other changes happen in the second half of the course. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.